horrible injury happened in an instant. September 6th, 1989, England versus Sweden in Stockholm. Neil Webb, Manchester United's exciting new £1.5 million midfield signing, strikes a shot at goal. His first attempt is blocked. As he follows through on a second strike, disaster strikes. His Achilles tendon snaps without any contact from an opposing player. Just weeks into his dream move to Old Trafford, just as he was entering his prime at 26 years old, everything changed for Webb in that single devastating moment. The story of Neil Webb isn't just about a career-altering injury, it's about remarkable talent, crushing disappointment, and the quiet dignity of a man who faced life's harsh realities with refreshing pragmatism. Born on July 30th, 1963, in Reading, Berkshire, Webb's prodigious talent was evident from the start. Joining his hometown club after leaving school in 1979, he made his professional debut in February 1980 at just 16 years old. His impact was immediate. He soon became the youngest goalscorer in Reading's history. Over 2 full seasons, the teenage midfielder accumulated 72 league appearances and an impressive 22 goals. This early promise caught the attention of Portsmouth, who signed him in July 1982 for around £87,500. At Fratton Park, Webb continued his rapid development. He was instrumental in Portsmouth winning the 3rd Division Championship in his first season. Over 3 years at the club, he delivered consistency and goals, netting 34 times in 123 league appearances. A remarkable return for a midfielder. By 1985, the legendary Brian Clough brought him to Nottingham Forest for £250,000, and it was at the City Ground that Webb truly blossomed into one of England's elite midfielders. His ability to influence games combined with his exceptional eye for goal set him apart from his peers. In his first 2 seasons at Forest, he remarkably scored 14 league goals each year, the second tally coming from just 32 appearances. A hat-trick against Chelsea in September 1986 even briefly put him atop the First Division scoring charts. Webb's consistent excellence brought both individual recognition and team success. He became a fixture in the England setup from 1987 onwards. He played a crucial role in Forest's 1989 League Cup triumph, scoring the second goal in their 3-1 final victory against Luton Town at Wembley. His reputation reached new heights when he was selected for the Football League Male against a rest of the world IFMAth in August 1987, a prestigious match where he famously nutmegged Diego Maradona, delighting the Wembley crowd. This period wasn't without profound difficulty, however, as Webb was one of the Forest players on the pitch during the tragic events of the Hillsborough disaster in April 1989. By the summer of 1989, Neil Webb had established himself as one of the most effective goal-scoring midfielders in England. Sir Alex Ferguson, in the midst of rebuilding Manchester United, identified Webb as a key component in his plans. The high-profile £1.5 million move to Old Trafford seemed the perfect next step. He arrived as a seasoned England international, expected to add dynamism and experience to Ferguson's evolving side. He made an immediate impact, scoring on his league debut against Arsenal in a 4-1 victory. Then came that fateful night in Stockholm that changed everything. The ruptured Achilles tendon required surgery and sidelined Webb for approximately 7 months, effectively wiping out the majority of his debut season at United. While he eventually returned to fitness, he struggled to consistently recapture the same level of dynamism and influence he'd possessed before the injury. Reports specifically noted a loss of the blistering pace that had been one of his key attributes. Despite these personal challenges, Webb's time at Manchester United coincided with a period of significant trophy success for the club. He was part of squads that lifted the FA Cup in 1990, though he missed the final stages due to the injury, the League Cup in 1992, the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1991, and the European Super Cup in 1991. Yet, a paradox emerged. The team was achieving success, but Webb, the major midfield signing, was grappling with the long-term repercussions of his injury. Over 3 full seasons at the club, he made 75 league appearances and scored 8 goals. A respectable return, but short of the expectations set by his pre-injury form at Forest and his substantial transfer fee. Webb's final season at United was marked by increasing friction with manager Alex Ferguson. Though he played in 31 out of 42 First Division games, he missed the crucial run-in as United narrowly lost the league league title to Leeds United. Some supporters, perhaps unfairly, pointed towards Webb's situation as a contributing factor to the team falling short. The midfielder himself felt marginalised, stating Ferguson didn't give him a fair crack of the whip and accused him of having too high a profile for a reserve player. A specific flashpoint occurred when Webb was recalled to the England squad late in the season ahead of the European Championships. According to Webb, Ferguson prevented him from joining the national team, citing an injury despite Webb feeling fit to train, leading to a confrontation that signalled the end of his time at the club. The culmination was his transfer back to Nottingham Forest in November 1992 for around £800,000. Tellingly, the move was finalised while Webb was undergoing a scan for another injury, a swollen knee. This underscored the persistent physical battles he faced following the initial Achilles rupture. Webb's return to Forest saw him rejoin a club in turmoil. Under manager Brian Clough, Forest were embroiled in a relegation battle in the inaugural Premier League season, a fight they would ultimately lose. Webb's second spell at the City Ground was hampered by ongoing fitness concerns. He spoke of an inflamed Achilles tendon that restricted his training and mobility, requiring careful management and potentially further surgery. After Forest relegation, Webb's appearances became increasingly limited. He embarked on several loan spells to Swindon Town, a brief spell in Hong Kong with Instant Dict, and finally a return to his first club, Reading. He left Forest permanently in the summer of 1996, signing for Grimsby Town. His time there was brief, and he departed shortly after the start of the 1996-97 season, effectively ending his professional league career at the age of 33. His international career had concluded earlier. His 26th and final cap for England came against Sweden during the 1992 European Championship, coincidentally in the same country where he had suffered the Achilles injury 3 years prior. Despite missing most of the qualifying campaign due to his injury, he had been included in Bobby Robson's squad for the 1990 World Cup in Italy, though his contribution was limited to an appearance in the third-place playoff match. Webb's injury in 1989 is widely seen as having created the opportunity for Paul Gascoigne to establish himself in the England midfield, a twist of fate Webb himself acknowledged with pragmatism, reportedly saying, "Fair play to Gaza, he always thanks me for getting injured." Following his retirement, Webb briefly explored coaching and management with short stints at Weymouth and Reading Town. However, his long-term path lay outside the traditional football structures. In a move that attracted significant media attention, Webb transitioned to working as a postman. Reports highlighted the modest wage associated with the job, stated as £220 per week. He later worked as a delivery driver. The media often framed Webb's post-football career as a fall from grace for a former international star. But Webb's own public statements consistently offered a pragmatic counter-narrative rooted in the financial realities of his playing era compared to today's astronomical footballer salaries. "My generation earned good money," he stated, "enough to buy a nice house, a nice car, and put your children through private education. But crucially," he added, "it is a different world for today's players. I always knew I would have to work after I played." He expressed an inability to relate to current Premier League wages, citing figures like £350,000 per week, reportedly earned by Casemiro, playing in Webb's former position at Manchester United, as simply incredulous. Webb directly addressed the media portrayal, pushing back against any suggestion that his later jobs were somehow demeaning. When asked about being a postman, he responded simply, "What else do people expect me to do?" He felt some coverage was belittling and highlighted the generational shift by observing, "You won't be seeing any footballers from the last 10 years doing it." Further evidence of the financial considerations came in 2023, when Webb, approaching his 60th birthday, decided to auction his debut England shirt and cap from the 1987 match against West Germany. While expressing hope the items would go to an appreciative collector, he explicitly stated the reason for the sale, estimated to raise £15,000, was to boost my retirement pot. This followed a previous sale of football medals in 2009, having played under 3 of Britain's most iconic managers, Clough, Ferguson and Sir Bobby Robson. Webb experienced the pinnacle of the English game. Yet, his story is equally defined by the profound impact of serious injury and the quiet dignity shown in adapting to life beyond the limelight. Webb's career presents a compelling narrative that transcends simple match statistics. From his emergence as a prodigious prodigious goal-scoring midfielder to his peak years at Nottingham Forest, his talent was undeniable. The subsequent move to Manchester United promised further success, but that devastating Achilles tendon injury irrevocably altered his path. His later playing career saw a gradual descent from the top flight, likely a consequence of the injury's lasting physical toll. His story serves as a powerful case study of the economic transformation within football and diverse, often challenging paths players from earlier eras navigate after their playing days conclude. Yes, it was a horrible injury that wasted what should have been Neil Webb's prime years, but his legacy isn't defined by what was lost. It's about the remarkable talent he displayed, the trophies he won, and the pragmatic resilience he showed when the stadium lights dimmed. If you enjoyed this video about Neil Webb's career and life after football, please like and subscribe for more stories about football icons whose careers were changed by crucial moments on and off the pitch.